Perfect. So, okay, we're working. Hey, everybody. Welcome to. Well, first of all, happy Monday. I hope you had a good weekend. I'm doing something different today. So if you see me looking in both directions, I'm on my business page and on my personal page because I realize some of you are like new to me and you're not connected on different platforms. So I just figured I'd stream on both areas so I can have this conversation with you today. All right, so if you're new to me, hi, nice to meet you. My name is Tina Martin. I am a operations coach. I'm a business coach, and I help agency owners and online business managers build and manage teams so that they can grow a business that leaves a legacy, and so that they can grow agencies that thrive, that can accept as many clients as you want it to. And you can do all of it without experiencing burnout. So, what I wanted to kind of discuss with you today is how to fix delivery deficits. In other words, how to or who you should be looking to hire so that you can start accepting more clients now. And the reason I'm doing this basically was inspired by a training that I did back about a month ago. I did a training and I had a lot of really good feedback from agency owners. For example, different women in business who want to build or they're building digital marketing agencies. They're transitioning from becoming virtual assistants to like online business managers, things like that. And the training was all about how to build a multi-six-figure business in 4 days a week by building a team, right? By growing a team. And when I say growing a team, I mean hiring contractors, virtual assistants, employees, bringing people onto your business at an earlier stage than most people advise you to, versus hiring more business coaches, trying more marketing strategies, learning more sales tactics that you don't really need, and growing your company through the power of a team versus the power of trying every single marketing strategy that hits the internet every single week. So during that training, basically the feedback that I got was a lot of people are experiencing what I call delivery deficits. And basically a delivery deficit, like I said, is when you hit the ceiling of the amount of clients that you're able to serve because you're doing it all by yourself. So in other words, you're basically turning business away because you don't have the ability to take on any more clients because you've built this company that is 100% dependent upon you. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So first and foremost, just like pop in the comments if you're new to me, say hello so that I can welcome you and thank you for being here. If you're watching this on the replay, put hashtag replay in the comments so I can do the same thing. And let me know if you are an online business manager or you are a agency owner, if this is something that you're struggling with. What part of this is holding you up from allowing you to grow your business the way you want to in 2021? What part of this is keeping you at a standstill? I would love to know in the comments. So just drop that below and share that with me. Okay, so this live stream is not going to be long. I'm going to go through this kind of quickly. So the first point I want to bring your attention to is that most people experience this. This is not something that is like foreign. You're not the only person that's dealing with this. Most people hit what I call the deep end, which is, for example, I was a big swimmer. I still am. I just have moved back up north and it's cold up here right now. So I can't but I'm going back south soon so we can get near some water. But basically I call this the deep end. And think about when you go to like the deep end of a pool, you can't get any further than that. Like you can't get any deeper. It's the deep end of the pool, right? There's nowhere else to swim. And so most people hit this in their business where they've hit the deep end of the amount of clients they can serve on their own, right? Like you can't go any further. You can't serve anybody else. And basically what it looks like is you're turning away clientele because you can't handle the workload anymore. Even if it's you and maybe you've contracted out a few people, for individual projects and things like that. but it's not a steady flow of assistance, right? On your end, like you don't have a steady flow of help as you run the company every single day. So you've hit this deep end and you can't go any further. And because of that, you can't really deliver. So your problem is not getting clients. Your problem is a delivery deficit, like I said. So there's another way that you can do this. Another option exists. It's just a matter of how you build it from here. And when I say that, I'm talking about your company. So it's your choice what you're going to do beyond this point, right? Like you can choose to stay right where you are, be comfortable, and just maintain the few clients that you're able to handle on your own and not grow from here at all. But the problem with that is that if your goal is to leave a legacy, if your goal is to leave a legacy for you're not in business just because you want to make money. If that's you, don't watch my videos because I'm not talking to you. This is not for you. So, but if your goal is to create a company that's thriving, that can surpass 6 figures, can get towards that 7-figure mark, maybe you want to hit the 7-figure mark. If you want to do that because you want to buy the dream home for your family, if you want to do that because if you're like me, for example, I take the profits that we make from that are made from my coaching company and we put it into real estate because that is going to be the job that we give to our children. Me and my husband, we have 2 boys. So that's what we're going to do. They're not going to have to go get a regular job. The plan is to take the profits from the companies that we're building right now while we're in our 30s, so that when our children become of age and they go to college, they are working our real estate. They're working the real estate business. That's going to be their jobs, right? And if they decide they don't want to do that, then they can do something different with their own dreams and their own visions. But the point is, it's legacy. It's something that we're passing down. So if that's your goal, like you have a legacy goal in mind, you don't have the ability to waste time staying stuck with only being able to serve a specific amount of clients. You have to make another decision, or you're going to get stuck here and you're going to fizzle out. And you don't want to become a part of that statistic of business owners who don't make it their first 3 to 5 years. Like you have to do something different, right? So that's what I'm saying to you. You have to really ask yourself, like, what's your goal? Why you're doing this and what you want to do next? Because how you build it from here, it's going to matter. It's going to matter wholeheartedly. And it's going to depend upon what you want to build and what your goal is for doing this in the first place. So really, you have to check in with yourself. What's your why? And from there, then you think about, okay, what's my other options? What are my other options? What else can I do so that I can bring in the support I need and be able to serve more clients? And then there's 2 things that always pop up when people get stuck right here. And I'm talking directly to you. So if you're in this position, there's two mind frames, I'll call it. I won't say mindset, but there's 2 frames of mind that always pop up right at this point. And they are, I don't have the time to do it, because I'm going to tell you literally what I've heard clients tell me. So, okay, Sina, I'm working 12-hour days sometimes. And I know that when it's time, the right person is going to come. They're going to come into my business, and I'll have the right assistant will show up, and it's going to work out. But right now, I have to focus on my clients. My time is totally being eaten up with me having to focus on my clients, and I don't have time to find somebody, let alone have to train them. Guaranteed, that's a thought that you had in your mind when you got to this point, right? That's the first part. So let me talk about that. So the first thing I want to say to that, if that's the way you're thinking, is this: you can decide to work on this part of your business and accomplish it in less than 2 hours a week. In less than 2 hours per week, you can. It's just a matter of you knowing who you need to hire, where to find them, and then how to train them. Right? You could do that in 2 hours a week. So that's the first part. It's not going to take you a whole lot of time. This is not something that you have to spend a whole lot of hours doing, and you don't have to pull away from your clients that you are currently serving to actually get this done. Number one. Number two, you need time to plan your exit from this business, right? Again, going back to what I said, what's your goal and why are you doing this? Are you doing this because you just want to make money? Is this just like a hustle to you? Or if you're like me and you're like the other women that I work with in my program, Hire Great Help, then you're doing this because you want to leave legacy. You're doing and building this business truly not even for yourself. Yes, you want a certain kind of lifestyle. Yes, you want a certain income every month. We all do. But truthfully, you're building this business for somebody else, whether that's your children, whether that's your family, whether you want to inspire other women around the world to follow suit and to go for their life they want and build their business too. You're doing it for somebody else. So because that's your goal, you're going to need time to plan your exit strategy. Meaning you're not going to be building a agency or a online business when you are in your 70s. Like, that's not cute. That's not what you're doing, right? You're not going to be doing that. You're not going to be selling coaching programs when you're 70 or selling virtual assistant services when you're 70 and 80 years old. You're not. Meaning you're going to, hey Sarah, you're going to have time to plan your exit strategy because you're building a legacy business. Yeah. So because that's what you're doing, you have to think about that now, not later. And if you're telling me right now, well, Sina, I'm spending 12 hours a day, 15 hours a day doing client work. I don't have time to find somebody to hire. I don't have time to train a team. Well, then what you're saying is, this is it. You're saying this is it. And if this is it, and you're fine with this being it, again, I'm not the girl for you to listen to. I'm not the coach for you. So, but if you know this is not it, and there's more that you have to do, and you have to really step into a leadership role because you're building a legacy business, then you have to start thinking about planning for that time now. And like I said, you're going to need time to plan your exit. What's your exit strategy out of this business? Do you want to get it to a certain income level? Do you want to do this for a certain amount of years and then you sell the business? Do you want to, like I said, do you want to sell the business? Do you want to franchise it? Do you want to turn it over to somebody else and they start running it? Think about it from beginning to end, because if you put that mindset, if you put that into perspective, what you want to do with this, once it is successful, then you'll start planning for that now. Right? So thank you, Bo. You'll start planning for that now. And so that's the thing about that time. When you start saying, well, I don't have time, you better find the time, because if you don't have time, you're not going to be able to get to the next step. You're not going to get to the next level of where you need to go. There's a gap between where you are now and where you want to go. And a big part of that gap is you investing the time to do it. Right? So that's the first thing. Now the second part, now just to recap for you guys who are new to the room, I'm talking to OBMs, online business managers, and agency owners who are experiencing delivery deficit, delivery deficit is basically when you're you can't serve any more clients, you can't take on any more clients because it's you doing all the work, and you're finding yourself having to turn away business because you don't have support to serve your clients. And I'm talking about how to fix that. Okay, how to fix that, and then who you need to hire, specifically who you need to hire now so you could begin to serve more clients. Okay, so the first point was stop saying you don't have time. And I just gave you the reasons why. The second mind frame that a lot of people have when they get to this point is that first they say they don't have the time because they're working 12-hour days. And that's true. You may be working 12-hour days. And I have literally been in your shoes. I've literally had my son, okay, who was like 7, 8 years old at the time, come up to me and say, Mom, I never spend any time with you because you work too much. He literally told me that I was not present in his life. I had built a business. I had hit 6 figures. I took him out of public school, me and his dad, and we homeschooled him. He had traveled the world 2 times over. We literally had given him everything that we thought was going to make him happy. And what did it boil down to? It boiled down to him wanting my time. So I've been in your shoes and I know what it feels like to work 12 and 13-hour days. But I've also been on the other side of that, which is, like I said, there's a different way for you to do this. You can do this differently. And the different way of doing that is building a team and having people help you create this legacy business that you are trying to create. I don't work 12-hour days now. Now I have a team of 4 people and we work together and I lead and I'm the CEO now. So there's another way to do this. Now like I said, the second part that people hit when they get to this is they say, well, I don't have the money to hire everyone that I want to hire. Okay, and this is another way that honestly you just deflect and you're just delaying the inevitable decision that you need to make by saying, okay, well, I want this is my dream team over here, and I want to bring in a designer, I want to bring in an ops person, I want to bring in, and I'm just repeating what I've heard clients and I've heard other women in business tell me. And it's like, well, I want to bring in these 4 people. I want a web designer, I want an ops person, I want somebody to sell, a seller, a social seller for my DMs, and an executive assistant, right? But I don't have the money to do that. So right now I just got to figure it out. I gotta mull over my budget. Okay, that's a valid point. You do need money to hire the people that you want to hire, but let's revisit what the problem is. The problem is you can't even bring in any more money. You can't bring in any more clients because you're at the deep end of who you can serve. You don't have any more space. You are stuck at the income you're at. So if you need more money, how are you supposed to get it doing it the way you're doing it now? Tell me. Because even if you go market, even if you go hire even if you go take another sales course, even if you go take another marketing course, that's good, that's great. But now what? You're going to market and sell to do what? Get more clients that you can't serve? So why are you in a sales course? You don't need that. You need to bring in more money, but you can't serve to generate the money. So the problem is what? The problem is you need to figure out where to focus the money so you can fix your delivery deficit. That's it. That's it. It's not that you need more sales. You don't. Because your volume of sales is not your problem. That's not the problem. At this point, right? At this point, selling is not a problem for you. Obviously, you can sell because you have people that you're having to turn away. The problem is you need to know where to direct the money so you can start getting support around your delivery. Right or wrong? Just drop a 1 in the comments if this is making sense for you. And so this is the part right here where you start saying, okay, let's look at the budget. Let's figure out where we need to redirect funds so that we can start getting support around the delivery. And what that looks like is, where are the gaps in your current delivery to your clients? What's not being done for them? For example, what projects are missing deadlines? What client projects are you missing deadlines on? Where are you feeling resistance when it comes to the client work that you have to get done on a weekly basis? Where do you feel stressed out? Where do you feel overwhelmed? That's the type of questions you need to ask. And then ask them too, like get your clients' feedback. What's missing? What would they love to, and then be careful with that too, because a lot of times, you'll ask clients, like, what are they loving? What do they want? And yes, they'll tell you, and yes, everybody tells you to listen to clients. I'm going to tell you that too, but I'm going to put a stipulation on it. Listen to clients to what's the word I'm looking for? Listen to them to a point, because if you start trying to do every single thing your client wants and it's not in alignment with like your business or the service you provide or the program or the offer that you currently have out there, like, don't start trying to create stuff just because a client told you it would be a nice to have for them. Like, don't do that. For example, look at well, I'm not gonna use that example, but don't do that. Don't burn yourself out trying to please clients, but just ask them around the current things that you do deliver. Whether that's like you create websites for them, you offer, I'm thinking about an OBM, you offer like social media management for them, right? Or maybe you come in and you handle clients customer service, right? So just ask them, like, around the thing that you deliver, ask them, hey, how do you feel about the service so far? What's one thing we can add to make this better? What would you love to see from us? Ask them, and then you'll be able to compare that to where you are now, and then start figuring out where the gaps are. That will tell you, when you compare that data to the data of what client, what are you doing for your clients that makes you feel stressed out? What makes you feel overwhelmed? What's really hard for you to handle right now? And when you start kind of putting those two together, you'll get a picture of where your delivery gaps are. That's where you need to put money. That's where you need to focus your money. That's where you need to focus your budget. Two things here. Once you figure out your gap, you need to figure out, how much is it going to cost me to hire someone to help me close this gap? Okay, and hopefully you're writing this down or taking notes on it. Who do I need to hire now to help me close this gap between what my delivery currently is and what I want my delivery to be? That's number one. And I'm going to tell you in a second who you need to hire to help you do that. And the second part is, you need to take a look at my program, Hire Great Help, because inside of Hire Great Help, that will help you to learn the skills you need to build and manage a team properly in the correct order for your business. Okay, so you need to look into that, budget for that, check it out. The link is above this video. If the link is above this video, if you're on the business page, if you're on the personal page, it'll be in the comments, and apply. And then all of the details will be available to you if your application is accepted. That's the two areas you need to start looking at putting money. Who do I need to hire to close the gap? What skills do I need now? What skills, tools, and resources do I need to gain now so I can close the gap in my delivery? That is where you need to focus your money, nowhere else. Nowhere else. Why? So you can manage a team. That is how you're going to be able to handle more clients now. So, before I end, the last point I wanted to make here is, who do you need to hire to help you do this, right? And again, remember, you can't just go hire the person. You're also going to need to know where to find them, know how to pick the proper person to hire in the first place, right? So that means you need to know what you need to ask them during an interview. You need to know what characteristics and what traits you're looking for. Does that person have a energy and a spirit that would fit well in your company? Are they going to work well with you? You can't tell that right off the top, but there's a lot of things you can do that will help you make a really good, guess before you hire them. Then you need to figure out then you need to know how to train them, how to bring them on board, what to train them on your first 30 days, the first 60 days, what test project to give them to see if they're a good fit to begin with. And if they don't work out, how to have the conversation with them to let them know, hey, this is not working out. and let them go so you can hire the proper person who would fit the role. All of that stuff you need. It's not as easy as just going out there and finding somebody on I don't know, Upwork, or finding somebody on one of those platforms and just bringing them in your company. It's a lot more to it. And this is the reason I said you need to put money into hiring somebody to close that gap and gaining the skills, tools, and resources you need to close the gap, so you know how to build and manage a team. So lastly, before we end, who you need to hire to do this successfully. So you basically need to hire another you. You know how we always say, like, oh, I wish that I could get a clone. I wish I could just clone myself. Well, yeah, but you need to literally like hire another you. You need to clone yourself. And I will never forget when I was in the beginning processes of planning my business, and I reached out to the Small Business Development Center, if you guys know about, that. And I basically got a advisor at the Small Business Development Center. And he told me from the very beginning, like I didn't even have the business plan done yet. And he told me, he was like, okay, you're going to immediately need to figure out how you can hire another you. And if you don't have the funding to hire another you need to figure out how to partner with somebody who will play your same position in the company. Why? Because, and he was talking about on the side of serving clients. And he told me, he was like, you're going to hit a bottleneck where if you don't bring somebody in or have a partner who can also do coaching, who can also make sure that those delivery pieces for your clients are being done, then you'll only be able to serve so many people at a time. And you're going to become the reason that the company can't grow, because you put all of the client serving on you. And so he told me that, like, before I had a business plan. And so that's the reason I'm telling you now, you're here now where you've already experienced that and you've already hit that plateau and you can't take on more people. So you need to hire another you, whether that is another coach. Maybe if you do coaching in your agency, or as an OBM, you need to hire another coach so that that person can also coach clients next to you. Okay. Or like I said, if you're an OBM, you need to hire another OBM. So you guys can do it as a unit. Maybe you come together and partner. Maybe you form, maybe you guys work under your company under one umbrella. But what I'm saying is you need somebody who can do, in regards to the client work, you need somebody who can also do the same client work that you would do. So if you're a coach and you have some type of coaching program, you need to hire another coach that can come in your program and coach next to you. If you're an online business manager, you need somebody else who could come in there and also be serving those different businesses that you are managing. Making sense? That's it. You need to hire another you now. So let me know if this helped in the comments below. Again, I would love to see your application come in for my program, Hire Great Help. So the link is going to be above this video or right here in the comments. I just realized I got to put this in the comments. The link is going to be right above this video or below in the comments. Go ahead and apply. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Talk to you later. Have a good Monday. Bye.